Hello everyone, welcome to our second video in our VS Code introduction. Today I want to talk to you guys more about extensions available in Visual Studio Code. Last time we talked about live server, but there's a lot more that we can do to make the experience easier for us and others when they're reading it or viewing it. First one that we have is auto rename tag. This is really going to help you out when you're going through and you want to make changes to your tags. What it allows you to do is to change a tag at either the beginning or the end, and it will do it to its pair tag. So if I wanted to create a div, and then I decide that I want to change that to maybe an H1, H2. I can do it to change both tags at the same time. And I can come to the end too and then change the end, and I can change it. So that one's very helpful. It's the one I downloaded is by Juan Han, and I use it quite often. The next one I want to talk to you guys about is Bracket Pair Colorizer 2 by Conrads. This extension allows you, it gives you colors for your brackets. So if I come over to main.js, I want to make function, and then I have my first bracket and their paired colors. And if I come in and I say I want to create another part that has brackets, then it's going to change those bracket colors. And you see, first we start out with orange, then it gets purple, and so on and so forth. And it'll keep it clear on where you're at inside your code. Next, we have Css Peak. This isn't something I've used too much yet, but it allows you to basically peek into your CSS code to see what you've named or what you've defined in your CSS code. Next, I want to talk to you about HTML preview. This is kind of like live server, except it's not a live server. And it does pretty much the same thing. It's just live server works better for me. Hit save, and then I can see it in the window. This one you can do a split screen, but it then shortens your window. And for when you're doing a lot of coding stuff, you have a lot of windows open or you have dual screens and whatnot, then it really helps to kind of have your workflow out instead of seeing everything on the side. Again, it's a preference. If that's something you guys like to have on the side here, then this is something that you'll like to use. If not, you can stick with live server and you're good to go. Next, we have HTML tag wrapper. This is it's a choice. You can either just stick with being able to change it this way with our auto rename tag, or you can highlight. You highlight everything inside, and then you change the tag. Preference-wise, I just stick with the auto rename tag. It's a lot simpler. I don't have to click and highlight anything, but it is a good thing to have if you like it. Next, we have Indent Rainbow by Order Watt. This one's really cool because when you're getting your code out, it actually shows you a rainbow effect. So I don't know if you can see it clearly on the screen, but on this first for statement, it shows everything in that statement. And then the next one comes over and it shows where that one all includes. And it'll keep doing that. and it just helps you show where your code's being modified at, or what's included in your for loops or your statements, and it's nice just to have. Next, we have another one, live HTML previewer. It's similar to the other ones. Like I said, my preference is this live server right here. It's just easier for me to use it that way and have it open into another browser. Next, we have this live Sas Compiler. This is a live compiler of your CSS code, and it works with live server. So any changes you do inside your CSS code, it's automatically going to apply upon save when you have your live server open. And it's really good because, like I said, you can automatically see what's going on. So if you're making a lot of changes and you're reopening the default browser just to see what's going on, it gets a little tired. So this way you just hit Control Save and you can automatically see what's going on. The next one I have, it's just more for aesthetics. It's a material icon theme. This one, it's just what it says, icon theme. So my theme up here, instead of the old default one, which I don't remember what it looks like anymore, but this one shows you, the HTML5 icon and JS icon over here. And if I go in and I create my CSS file, just do CSS or styles.css, and boom, you have a CSS logo. And they have a bunch of other logos, so you can, anything that you're using, if it's supported, it has an icon loaded in there, it's going to use that as your default icon instead of what was originally there. And like I said, it's more for looks. It looks really nice, and they did a good job on that. That one's by Keith, I believe. And next we have opening the browser. That was like your default that I showed in the first video. Open in default browser kind of access. I have them downloaded in. You don't always use all of your extensions, but they're there if you need it. And sometimes they work with your other extensions, even though you might not use that one in particularly. You're going to be using something that's with it. So, but this one I could uninstall if I chose, but I just like having the option if it's there. Next, we have Prettier -code formatter. There's a lot of these out there. And basically what this is going to do is every time you save your document, it's going to auto format your script. So if I start typing out divs and I have it all out of order, I got that one there, then I create another H1 here. I type in another H2 here, and it gets very messy. Or sometimes you just might miss your indents and whatnot. So this one, upon saving, when I hit Control Save, it's going to line everything back up to where it should go. So it's going to indent your code very nicely. So it saves you from having to go back and do it manually. And there are a few out there like this one. This is just the one that I use. And that's the last one I have is better comments. This one I really like because it really helps you see where you're putting in your comments. If I want to see something like in my main.js, I had some stuff pulled up from before. And so if I want to comment out something and, it's important, however you use them, it says this function will add 2 numbers. All right. Likewise, I can then use backslashes and a question mark, and it's all going to be in blue. You have the option to just, of course, double backslash, or you can do hashtag and make them green. They also have a to do Got my backslashes to do, and it turns them orange. And you can do the same thing in HTML. Now the kicker with this one is the fact that when you put in your comment at first, like if you just hit Control and backslash, it automatically puts your stuff in there. But you wouldn't come over here and just change this one to question mark. It doesn't recognize it like that. So what you do is it's the space afterwards, and then you can question mark. And then you can put in your text like this. And it only reads the first one. So if you put a question mark and then a hash, it doesn't work that way. But if I come back here and I change it to a question mark, now the inside text is blue. Likewise, if I do my asterisks, it's green. If I put in to do, it's orange. And it really clears everything up. So I use this a lot, and with other students or for work, people really like to be able to read where your comments are. Where are they at? In hindsight, if you're just using regular comments, they're grayed out and they're really hard to read sometimes. I have a different theme loaded onto my VS to make it so that it's easier to read this, but some themes are very dark, and when you do your backslash, then it doesn't show up very well. But regardless, I use these, and you can clearly see where your comments are, and then you can start writing in your basically whatever you need. Then you can add everything in. You guys have any questions, or if you found any other extensions that work really well for you, or you like to see something used, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to get a video for that, or just test it out myself. And thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe.